is going on, everyone? It's episode 106, recorded on Sunday, August 14th, 2022. I'm John, and hey, Drew.
Yep.
3 guys are hiking through the woods when they find a lamp. One of them picks it up, rubs it, and out pops a genie. It exclaims, "You have finally freed me after all these years, so I'll grant each of you 3 wishes." The first guy immediately blurts out, "I want $1 billion." Poof, he's holding a printout that shows his account balance is now, in fact, $1 billion. The second man thinks for a bit, then demands, "I want to be the richest man alive." Poof, he's holding papers showing his net worth is now well over $100 billion. The third guy thinks even longer about his wish, then says, "I want my left arm to rotate clockwise for the rest of my life." Poof, his arm starts rotating. The genie tells him it's time for their second wish. The first guy says, "I want to be married to the most beautiful woman on earth." Poof, a stunning beauty wraps herself around his arm. Second guy thinks a little bit and says, "I want to be good looking and charismatic so I can have every girl I want." Poof, his looks change and the first guy's wife immediately starts flirting with him. Third guy says, "I want my right arm to rotate counterclockwise until I die." Poof, now both his arms are rotating in opposite directions. The genie tells him to think very carefully about their third wish. The first guy does and then exclaims, "I never want to become sick or injured. I want to stay healthy until I die." Poof, his complexion improves, his knees don't bother him anymore, and he feels amazing. Second guy says, "I never want to grow old. I want to stay 28 forever." Poof, he looks younger. The third guy smiles to the other 2 men and triumphantly says, "My last wish is for my head to nod back and forth endlessly." Poof, he's now nodding his head and still flailing his arms around. The genie wishes them good luck, disappears, and the men soon go their separate ways. Many years later, they meet again and chat about how things have been going. The first guy is ecstatic. "I've invested my money and multiplied it many times over, so me and my family will be among the richest of the rich pretty much forever. My wife is a freak in the sheets, and I've never gotten so much as a cold in all these years." Second guy smirks and says, "Well, I built charities worldwide with a fraction of my wealth. I'm still the richest guy alive and also revered for my good deeds. I haven't aged a day since we last met, and yes, your wife is pretty wild in bed." Third guy walks in, flailing his arms around and nodding his head, and says, "Guys, I think I fucked up."
Get on with the show.
Workday's over. Family time is fun. Kids are in bed. And now it's time for the Dad's After Dark show with your hosts, Drew and John.
What's up, everybody? On tonight's show, we have updates and opinions on Splatoon, Kirby, Pokemon, Fall Guys, and Xenoblade Chronicles. Almost 30 years later, John, are we now just discovering that Super Punch-Out still has secrets to be uncovered? Well,
Yes.
I think John's going to share some stuff later tonight. And lastly, we have voicemails from you, the listeners. And let me tell you, there's some good ones. And just maybe one of them is going to be claiming a bounty. We'll have to wait and see who it is. John, buddy, how you been? What's new? What's going on?
I have
Killing
been
monsters?
good. I haven't been killing monsters this weekend, but I will get back to it this week. You'll see. No, it's been good. Today was a very fascinating day. It was the first day I took Cedric out driving.
Whoa.
We went to an empty school parking lot. Fortunately, a very big high school about a couple miles from our house. Huge parking lot that was empty. And then we drove around for an hour. I don't know what everyone, I'd love to hear what dads have done for those first lessons. He's only driven for 20 minutes. He drove 20 minutes with mom last week, but I had him drive around for an hour. And what we practiced was turns and, reversing out of a parking. But like he was just doing circles. We were just doing turns.
He's just loving life.
Don't accelerate, proper acceleration. That stuff's hard. That's stuff that we just do so naturally now. But for someone who's new, how fast do you go into the turn? How fast you get out of the turn? He keeps like overturning. So he'll turn the wheel all the way to the left and he'll hold it a little too long. And then you're starting to like turn left and then he like bounces back. So we're going through all that. So that was fun to do. So that was fun to do. And yesterday, my boy got his 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo.
Wow.
I got to be proud dad. It was great. He's been practicing for months with another kid who went for their 3rd degree black belt, who lives in our neighborhood by chance.
So that they're going to start like a little Cobra Kai club or something? Well,
they've spent a good part of the summer. Like, his friend will come over, he'll go over there and they'll practice. And it was cool. It was really cool to see them practicing together. And they had a easy time getting their belts. They were worried about it. Stressful. There's a lot. They had to do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, like all that stuff. You got to memorize all these forms. You got to break boards.
Could he kick your ass?
He's getting there. He's still
far.
I'm still bigger than him. That's the only advantage I have now.
You have to weight on him. That's it.
Yeah. But as he's gotten bigger and he'll like hit me, he used to be when he was younger, it wouldn't really hurt. Now it like hurts. So he's getting there. But I'm super proud of him. And you know what else I'm super proud of? Got my Nintendo email for the month, 166 hours of Switch play in the last month. To represent how much 166 hours is. That is 5.5 hours a day. Monster Hunter was my big game. Yeah. It's crazy.
You and your monsters.
Half of that is Sunbreak. But I played... what else does that include? I think that includes some Xenoblade. I played a lot of Kirby. I played through all of Kirby. I just played so much Switch Sports. I'm still playing. There was so much going on, and I knew it was going to be a big email. But I'm pretty proud of that. Yeah. So pretty good. Hopefully, no one from work is listening.
Yeah, because that doesn't. They don't flow together.
Yeah, a little bit during work. How about you? How's your week going?
Good. Kind of uneventful. Not much going on, really. I'm going on vacation soon. Just trying to prep. I have 17 days off of work, John.
You're in the middle of that. You've just started.
Just started 17 days.
Do you ever work?
Listen, I have been actually so busy at work. It's like I don't know. I tried to leave early on Friday. I didn't. It's one of those. I'm actually going to probably work from home Tuesday and Wednesday a little bit.
Really? Wow.
Gotta
play Xenoblade.
I know. We'll get to that. Besides that, not much. Did a little weed whacking today below the belt end in the yard. It's been a very uneventful day. I've been playing a lot of games. I find myself getting old because when I have these like periods of not having a lot of stuff to do, I play video games and I sit in my recliner. And I realize like my back hurts when I have these games. I feel like I really hurt my back like years ago when Xenoblade 2 was out. Because I just sit there and I'll play for like 3 hours straight sitting in a chair, and it's just it's not a good situation. So what I'll do now is like, I noticed get up. I went for a little run today. I was like, I gotta stretch the back out,
Yeah. That's good. Are you doing more exercise? I know you're doing that post chubby bracket.
No, I'm still exercising. I'm still not really eating, eating well, I guess you could say, but I've hit like a roadblock. I'm just steady at like 182 now. I can't break the mold. It's I think that's like my break point, but I did exercise more. I think that's the difference.
Yeah, I have had bad habits since I got back from Disney. I really haven't. I've been counting calories every day, but I haven't really done it since I got back. And I had like 3 pieces of garlic bread tonight. And but tomorrow I'm going to get back to counting the calories, because I think when you count the calories, it encourages you to exercise, so you get numbers. It's too easy to skip. It's too. I skipped too much this weekend.
I never did the calorie count.
I mean, it just motivates you to do extra exercise because you say, if I can get 20 more minutes in, then I can have that snack I want or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, don't. But I mean, it helps you to go. It gives me a more calorie pool in case I eat more.
Yeah. Well, my thing
but I
was
gotta get back to it.
when I go to work, I've been doing this now for like 4 months. All I'll eat is like a yogurt for breakfast and then like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a salad for lunch. So like, I'm probably only eating like 400 or 500 calories until dinner time.
I don't know how you do that, especially with a PB&J. That would spike my sugar levels. I would get so ravenously hungry from that. That's insane. But God bless you, man.
Yeah, it works. That's how I got here.
All right. Speaking of other ways to lose weight.
Yes. Shaving your balls. Is that where you're going with that one?
That's exactly where I was going with that one.
There's no pitch. Just shave your balls. Use Manscaped. It's that simple. Use code NINDADS. I mean, I gotta be honest. If you haven't done it by now, you're probably not going to go buy it. Would you say that's fair?
We're supposed to be advertising. You know what? I'm going to play Sadie right now. Sadie, take it away.
Summer is coming. The sun is shining. Shirts are off. And your balls are smooth. You heard that right. Your friends at Manscaped are here to make sure your beach balls are as smooth as Floridian sand. In summer, you want to kill some cold beers and barbecues. Not kill the vibe with pubes peeking out your swim trunks. That's why Manscaped has their Performance Package 4.0 to keep the party in your pants looking crisp and refreshing all summer long. Dive headfirst into summer by joining the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for hot guy summer by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code NINDADS. That's NINDADS. And now, back to the show. It's time to look at the bounty board.
All right, bounty board. We still have a lot of bounties left. By a lot, I mean 3. Really, 2. Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, 1166 Cyberbricks. I've got an update on this one, Drew.
Do you?
I've had, yes. We've had a good influx of Twitter followers in this past few weeks.
Okay.
And I have had a few people take note of the Kyberbrick contest and say they are either really, really close or actually did it. So and I just told them, I listened to our show and you'll see how you can, get your prize.
Hey, I
haven't gotten that yet.
I'm rooting for Evercell. I think he's close because he logs on at least every other day when I'm on the Switch onto that game, and he's been playing it for a long time. I think he's close.
I haven't got an update. Where's the Evercell update? There's no update.
If you're listening to this, I want to know an update. What are you at? Are you at like 400 or are you at like 900? Where are you?
No updates.
We need an
Send
update.
us a picture with your score. Second one is going to be get your name in Nintendo Force. $5 if you get into the question answer section. We've talked about that one. You'll have to go back to the previous episodes. But
by the way, I remembered what I asked everyone to sign their name as. It came to me the other day in the car. Just driving. I said, "Fuck, that's it." We asked them to sign their name as the meat.
The meat. That's so stupid. There's gonna be like 3 from the
somebody's
meat.
In there with the meat.
I would be shocked if somebody with the meat is in there. I did submit my answers. I think at the end after last week's show.
I did not. Is it too late?
I did put my answers in. I don't think it's too late. It could be, but now's the time to do it. Just do it, and they're fun. They're really fun questions to answer. I think one of them is, "What's your favorite game with the number 3 in the title?" So there's a lot of fun stuff. I answered them all. I was pretty happy with my answers. I've never gotten I don't think I've ever gotten my name in a magazine for answering questions. So I'm hoping. I actually tweeted it out, and I tweeted Nintendo Force and said, hey, we've got a contest, $5 to whoever gets in your magazine, no pressure. And they liked it. They hit the like button on that. Yeah. So
probably your buddy.
Dad's After Dark Strikers Club. New season started on Friday.
It did. We're struggling, folks. Get your shit together. By the time you're listening to this, it'll be too late, but I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Yep. Me and Kurt Echelon are the only 2 people playing. And
anymore.
That's not true. There's a couple other ones. I get it. People are on
Yeah,
holiday.
give
They're
people
away.
credit.
No, fuck that. We need wins here, folks. We're in second. I got to pull it up. I might have
How
to
many
play
games have
during
I
the
played?
show. Probably 0 in the last 3 seasons combined.
I think
Too busy
I have been
monsters.
trying to force strikers. We'll talk about it later, but I haven't been participating. But yeah, by the time you hear this, the season's over. There'll be a new season start later this week. And then monthly
mayhem.
What's going on with monthly mayhem?
We had 11 people play Mushroom Gorge, or as my daughter would call it, Mushroom George.
George.
What a fun track. That's one of my favorite tracks. One of the most ones I was looking forward to. They had that little shortcut on the end that people either got it or they didn't, and it was not easy, I'll be honest. So 11 people. John, buddy, what happened?
I couldn't hit the shortcut. I tried and tried and tried. I couldn't hit the shortcut.
Well, you finished.
So I haven't been trying to improve my score because what's the point? I mean, if you can't hit the shortcut, you can't compete in that one. So
that's true. I came in second. I'll take the nice proud there. I lost by 0.1 second.
Damn.
To Andrew Dylan. I want to say Dillion. It's got to be Dillion. Let me know how it's pronounced. Him, myself, and Abbott, Sean were all pretty close, and the newcomer Hoots right up there in the midst, and then of course Tuesday there, top 5. What a good little competition. So this week we're now playing Mario Circuit 3, and it's
Dillion Andrews. You got the name. You said Andrew Dillion. Sorry, Dillion. You're new here. And Drew is from the East Coast. We give him a pass.
That's it. Yeah, I get lots of passes. Anyways, we're currently on Mario Circuit 3, which is no doozy because Bob Cousy is killing it right now. And I'm done. I have a hard time with this one. I cannot keep up with these guys. I don't know how they're doing it. But lots of fun. And then we have 2 more. Yep. Remember, every Friday is a new one. So next Friday, then that's 2 Fridays. And then after this, we'll go to a head-to-head match play like we did. Top 8 people make it. So, John, right now, you gotta get your shit together. You are not in the head-to-head playoffs.
Yeah, I like this other course. Hopefully I do better. There's not a crazy shortcut in this one either. So hopefully I do better.
There's not. And I'll tell you what, I'm not holding back. I'm going for the W. Okay.
Are you going to beat Dillion Andrews?
Dillion. It's Italian. All right. Anyways, that's monthly mayhem update. We got a few more weeks left. It's not too late to join. If you didn't play Mushroom George, there's still a chance. There's still a chance. You could still compete in the other 3 and make it. You never know.
Yeah, the scoring is like, I mean, I have 3 points. Solo something is like middle of the pack. He has 7 points. I'm only 5 points behind. You can come in. You just get top 8 and you get into the tournament, and then all the points are gone. It's all about the tournament. Yeah.
And then you're playing in circuit mode with other computer players where anything, blue shells and shit happening. It's mayhem. Mm-hmm. It's true mayhem. And that's the fun of it.
That's it.
You could be the best player and it means nothing when it comes to the circuit play.
That's it.
All right.
Sweet.
That's all I got.
We've got a lot of games you can be playing for contests. You have a lot of games to play for bounties. But there are a lot of directs to go over in this week's meet. So let's get to it.
It's time for the meet.
The meet. I'm gonna say up front, I'm gonna be Grumpy Drew tonight, and I don't want to burn off negativity here. I'm gonna try to be positive, but I have a lot of negativity going on tonight with the meet, and we'll get to it. That's all I'll say. Just a little. That's like, when they show the end of the movie first, like a little spoilery, but then how do you get there? That's what I just did for you.
Well, cool. I don't know if your intention was to record, but I'm going to leave that in the podcast as part of the foreshadow. So here we go. Let's get started with the meat and everything we've seen except for Drew's meat, which we don't want to see.
I'll show it.
How's Amaranth's meat? I know you're watching her on the shower
hold on.
cam.
She's I don't know what she's doing. She's looking at a plant and rubbing her hair.
She's doing the hair thing.
She's doing the weird hair thing. She's still soaping her hair. She didn't even rinse the soap out. Okay,
Pokemon Presents on August 3rd. We got a 20 to 30 minute. I can't remember how long it was exactly. Little Pokemon Direct. They showed a bunch of things. I'll be honest. I don't really care about anything else. I only cared about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And I'm not even sure if my partner has watched it. Has he watched it? No, it doesn't look like... What would you guess
if you had to bet? If you're a betting man, did I watch this?
You didn't watch it. Like, no, I think no chance you watched this.
So remember back in the day, I became a Pokemon fan. Or what game was that? Let's Go. Liked it.
You played
I actually enjoyed it. Beat the game. Had fun with it.
Beat it.
Beat it. Beat the meat. That was a short-lived Pokemon. I don't know what the word. I went out. I bought plushies. I was all in. Let's just say I'm done. I'm done with Pokemon. I did not watch this direct.
Wow. Did your kids? They're still playing Pokemon, or they're just kind of playing other stuff right now?
No, we got Lego games and iPad games. That's it. Okay. I am going to get my daughter the Disney Dreamlight. Is that what it's called?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. I think she'll like that.
Anywho. Did they watch the Pokemon Presents?
No.
Do they want to jump on the show? No?
They didn't watch it. They don't even know there was one. I didn't even really know there was one. I kind of forgot about it.
Pokemon Presents revealed new information on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It feels like forever ago. It was shortly after our last episode. I think the major things to point out are that, once again, they're accentuating the open world aspect of this game, that there are going to be 8 gyms like there usually are. By the way, I just want to say, Drew, my friend Dylan puts a lot of pressure on me because he says I'm wrong all the time about Pokemon facts. And I'm really nervous about talking about this game. So
this is not the same DeLeon that we just talked about, is it?
No. Yeah.
I always get confused if that was the same. It's now confirmed, not the same.
He's not
person.
Italian. Yeah, it's Dylan, not DeLeon. So there's going to be.
So Dylan is a big Pokemon fan, and you're nervous because there's a lot of pressure here.
I mean, that's an understatement. He does like the card tournaments. No, he's crazy about Pokemon. It's a little weird. I don't want to tell him. I don't. Maybe he listens and he's probably hearing this. He's really into Pokemon. I did spend I think when Sword and Shield launched, I actually spent a good part of the day at his house. We went and picked up the game and played and all that jazz. So
what
Pokemon's
you're saying is we pissed off 2 Dills in one episode.
DeLeon and Dillon.
That's a stretch. Dylan.
There are going to be 8 gyms, and usually in Pokemon games, it's very linear. For the most part, linear. I don't know if there's ever been any kind of possible choice, but for the most part, you get directed to a gym. It opens up a path to a town. You get directed to the next town. This one is you can go to any of the gyms first, any of the gyms second. It's an open world. I don't think it's clear yet about the scaling, because usually in an open world game, even if you have the choice, but if you go to the 8th, the quote unquote 8th gym, and the Pokemon are like super high level, it's not going to really help you. You're going to be destroyed. So it should scale, I think. So if you go to the 8th gym first, then, the next gym will be a little harder. So it probably will scale. But you can choose which gym you want to, which has bearing because there's different types that are represented by the gym. So if you pick a fire type first, you might want to go find like a grass gym. Or if you pick a water type gym, you might want to go find a fire gym. But usually when you go linearly, that means that the starter that you picked can be easy or hard based on who the first gym is and maybe some of the local Pokemon. So I know in certain games, the water Pokemon was the easier way to go because they're going to immediately beat the first gym easily. Anywho, that's really cool. I love the open world nature of this. And it sounds like, it's going to be kind of like Arceus, but also not like Arceus. I think it's going to be its own sort of thing. And I think it'll be a little bit more open. So that was really exciting. There are vehicle Pokemon. I don't remember what their names were, but in Violet, it was sort of like a jet type Pokemon. And Scarlet, he would like run on like little caveman wheels, like the Flintstones. I don't know if the Flintstones are before your time, but
they were not.
Yeah, so
fan.
It sounds like there's 3 major campaigns going on. I've heard from some people that say usually that's what these games have, but I don't know. It sounds a little different. But you have the campaign of going through the gyms. That's one campaign. Then there's a treasure hunt campaign. And then there's some third thing. I forget what it was. So there's a lot of things you can do. You don't have to do the gyms right away. You can ignore that storyline. You can just go do something else. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm really excited for it. I have a fear like I'll talk about it a little bit more later with Xenoblade, but it's like a fear of playing another game in a series where I'm excited because I like the series, but then it's going to feel like the same thing again. And I'm not as excited. But I'm really excited for Pokemon and Scarlet and Violet right now.
I just
very good direct.
Just watched it. Watched it in about 23 seconds.
They went over Pokemon Go, and then they went over the championships and all that stuff.
Why does the vehicle guys have wheels, but they have legs that run? That's a little confusing.
Just creative. I mean,
it? It kind of seems unrealistic.
It's fantasy. Do you ever use like a Strider bike? Like we didn't have it when we were kids, but like my daughter used a Strider bike, where it's a little bike, but it doesn't have pedals.
They're called. They're not called. We call them something else. What do we call them? I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there's no pedals.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
There's no pedals, no gears, whatever. So they're pretty cheap, but they teach balance.
Balance.
And you use your. There you go. You use your feet. So that's kind of what it is. It's just I'm on wheels to go faster, but I have to push for my power. I think it works. Yeah.
I think
it works.
Looks weird.
It's interesting. I'll probably play it, but looks good. Next direct that we got is the Splatoon 3 direct. We've been waiting for this one for a while. Not a huge while, but
we very well.
Yeah, we learned about Splatoon 3 like over a year ago, I think.
We did. I want to say last E3 time frame.
Right. And we got some information, a couple months back, a few months back, but this was the big one. This was 30 minutes of information.
Didn't I believe I said Splatoon 3 was one of my top 3 most anticipated games, if I remember correctly.
Is that still true?
No.
No?
Spoiler alert.
No after the direct or no before the direct?
I think after.
All right. Well, let's go through
about it, and I'll talk about my
let's go through the major themes of what we saw, and this is in no particular order. But we saw some of the new weapons, the Splatanas and the Stringers. The Splatanas are more of like they look like windshield wipers. That's what I remember the most about them, and they sort of fling goop. And the Stringers, which are basically like crossbows. The first thing I thought of, because I've been in the Battle Royale camp, and the first thing I thought when I saw these weapons was, interesting, these weapons don't look like weapons to win a turf war. They look like weapons of attack. Like maybe some of the sniper rifles that we've seen in this game.
Yeah. And
I thought, Battle Royale, it's going to happen. These are not turf war battle. These are snipers. And spoiler, we would not see a Battle Royale. But I did fall in love with the Stringer weapons because I'm a big Tomb Raider fan. So I want to master the Stringer. I want to be Lara Croft in Splatoon, no matter how bad I am. What did you think about the weapons there, Drew?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. Again, I missed Splatoon 2. I was a big fan of Splatoon 1, but I don't know. I mean, I gotta assume they're kind of running out of ideas, right? With the weapon type stuff. They've had 2 games, and each game has had a pretty big weapon selection, I guess you could call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first one, the sword windshield wiper looking one, was kind of like, it just looked like, why would I ever want to use that? There's so many other better weapons.
Yeah.
The Stringer one was definitely interesting, like you said, for a few different reasons. But not like blown away.
Mm-hmm.
But the Stringer one was definitely intriguing. I guess that's my take on those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. they're trying to be creative, but yeah,
It's
I think
tough.
the paint roller was just the absolute coolest weapon, perfect for Splatoon, that sort of thing. And I don't know if you'll get another one like that.
Agreed.
There's also new specials. We saw the Tacticooler, which is like a power-up dispensing buffer weapon. I thought was pretty cool. It was like grab a brewski, let's go to war. Wave Breaker, Reef Slider. I was excited with some of these specials. I mean, to me, the specials don't change the game. They're just, I expect there to be some new specials to use.
Yeah.
But they did seem fun. The Reef Slider seemed fun. They all kind of seemed fun. The Wave Breaker seemed pretty passive, but like aggressive. It's a passive aggressive weapon, Drew.
Look at that.
But yeah, I think the weapons look cool to me.
Yeah.
Sure. We saw some new moves that they didn't talk about too much in terms of like how to do them. I don't remember them saying what the controls were, and I almost missed it for a while. But the Squid Roll is where you are swimming in the ink and you can jump and land again. And I think they were saying is when you jump, you're kind of more immune to attack. I might have missed something, but I think that's what it was. And it didn't occur to me that when you play Splatoon and you're in the ink, there's a lot of times you're in the ink, maybe you're running out of ink, but then somebody's shooting at you and you're kind of become a sitting duck. They can see you. And I think this allows you some respite where you can jump and maybe there's some other things you can do with some of these levels. But that's a new control mechanic that we have not seen before, that Squid Roll.
Well, let's explain the other one first, because maybe I thought that did something else, but maybe I'm thinking that's the Surge.
I think the Squid Surge is like you can jump upwards, I think, as a squid, right?
Okay, so I thought the roll was if you're in the ink swimming one direction, let's say you're swimming to the right, and you jump out, you could then almost shoot to the left, like you jump out and roll backwards. And you can now aim kind of like Breath of the Wild, right? When you go into the bow and arrow mode and it slows down, and you like kind of like that, but it's not slowing down.
Right.
Does that make sense? That's the way I should describe it. You're jumping out of the ink, but now you can turn and shoot at the same time.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. They showed it a little bit. They showed it a couple times throughout without really necessarily naming it every time. I think it's just gonna have to be one of those things where you get a feel for it while you play. It's hard for me to really know how it's going to change the game.
One was like you said, climb the wall, but unless I'm getting the other one confused too, where it gave you like a brief shield, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Or is that the Surge? I
think what they're trying to address is the points in the game when you are at your most vulnerable. They want to give you some ability to fend off.
Agreed. I agree with that. Yep.
So we'll see how that plays when the game comes out. It'll be interesting. Yeah, and then a lot of the same mechanics I talked about. Kind of the way your outfit upgrades work, the way you could swap things out. All the stores, which I was trying to remember the names of the characters of the current stores. I know the guy who runs the weapon shop, Sheldon, is still there, but they seem to have some new retailers. Gnarly Eddie is selling the headgear, and Gel LaFleur is selling the shirts, and Mr. Coco, who's the giant. Was he a hermit crab or like a lobster or something?
Yeah, just a big crab guy. I liked him though. He was pretty cool.
He's selling shoes. Harmony is selling collectibles essentially. So there's a whole new set of really fun looking merchants.
The stores. I thought the stores was pretty cool, pretty interesting. I liked how it actually also gave you some type of buff, right? Like they showed you the shoes, you actually increase your speed. And then I loved how it actually also showed kind of running compared to not wearing those shoes.
Yeah.
So it kind of showed you that. And then I don't think you have this listed down. Maybe you do. But then they had the chick where you can add special abilities to certain gear, right? So for example, sometimes you have like a really cool hat that you like, but the upgrade on it blows. Well, now you can go to the chick. She can then put your special, the one-eyed weird chick, she can put a special ability on that gear. So now you can have what you want for abilities and what, as far as cosmetic as well.
Yeah.
That was nifty.
Yeah, exactly. Is that a chick? Do we know? Is that confirmed? I didn't think that was a
I
chick.
cannot confirm that. I thought it was a one-eyed chick. You thought it was a dude?
What genitalia does Merch have? Nope, it's a gender male. There you go.
I thought you asked in Google. Sounded like one of those, or like hey Siri. What?
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be cool. I've never been great with the clothes before. I've never been very clear about when I can be seen in the ink, when I can't, because I can't see myself, for instance. Just that sort of thing. I want to get better with understanding the upgrades. If you have a shirt with 3 of an upgrade, are you way better off? I think you are with 3 of those upgrades. Then if it's like, once you have it once, other ones don't matter. Like, I don't even know the answer to that question. And I've played hundreds of hours of Splatoon.
You think that
probably
overwrites itself, you're saying?
No, that like if you get the upgrade for swimming in the ink and you get a speed upgrade and you get another speed upgrade, are you even faster with the second speed upgrade, or is it once you have one, that's it? I honestly could not answer you that question right now.
For example, yeah, if you're 10% faster, you're now 20% faster.
Yes, 30%
faster.
Yeah. If I want to get more serious with that stuff, I always kind of ignored it or played shirts I thought were better, but for the most part, I don't know what the impact is. So I want to get better with that stuff. They've renamed ranked mode to Anarchy Battles. Interestingly, there are very interestingly, I thought there is something called, I think it's the Anarchy Battle series where you play it solo. I'm not quite sure what this means yet. You play it solo, and if you can win 5 of them, you triumph. If you lose 3, you're out. So there's going to be some wrinkle, I think, with those Anarchy Battles. I'll see what that's about. The biggest change, well, before I get to the biggest change, let's talk about Salmon Run. Salmon Run is back, thank God. I have heard that it is up 24/7. I don't know if Splatoon 2 switched to that, but originally for a long time, just sometimes of the day, sometimes, some days not, Salmon Run wasn't there. But I think it's going to be there 24/7 now in Splatoon 3, which is great because I love Salmon Run. I can play it all day long. But yeah, there's some new bosses. There are now king bosses that happen at the end. I thought that was really fun. Like once you finish getting all the eggs, that there's like one big final boss you have to battle.
And there's a bunch of different ones, right? I'm assuming it was like random on which one you got.
I think they showed one, but there's got to be more. And if there's not, there's going to be.
I thought they showed one, but didn't they show like the chart with like the graphic of other ones?
I think the chart was the regular bosses.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And it looked like all of the bosses from the previous games are back too, including the garbage pail guy that flips open and you got to like shoot a bomb in.
Not playing Splatoon 2. I'm excited for this part of the game.
Right. You've never played Salmon Run.
I've never played Salmon Run.
Wow. Dude, Salmon Run's so fun. We should play a bunch of Salmon Run because I love Salmon Run and I would love to play with you. It would be fun.
We will.
And I can help you.
You can play my salmon anytime.
All right. But yeah, there are, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. And you can now throw the eggs, which is great. So Salmon Run, you have this like trash looking receptacle and you have to kill the bosses. They drop 3 golden eggs, I think they are. And then you have to pick up the golden eggs and bring them back to your trash receptacle. And you have a time limit, there's like 3 rounds and you have to say, they might say, get 15 golden eggs. You have, 3 minutes or whatever to do it. And it's so much fun. But at the end, sometimes you're racing and you have a golden egg and the time's running low and you just have to run to the trash receptacle. Now they let you throw it, which just means you're going to get these dramatic, like last second shots. And hopefully if you launch it in the air, it waits until the egg falls.
Like slow motion.
So you can just kind of Steph Curry it, right in the end. That would be so much fun. But it looks like there's definitely some upgrades to Salmon Run. There's a mode called Big Run. I honestly don't know much about it. They talked about it and said every few months this will happen. It looked like it was a Salmon Run, but I don't know what this is. But it could be a special version of it. They were a little mysterious about it. So I guess we'll find out about that. Interacting with like going in with your friends. So this was the same, I think, in Splatoon. Maybe not in Splatoon because I think I only ever had one Wii U. So in Splatoon 2, if you wanted to play with your friend, right? They have a Switch, they have the game. You could either do a private match, but you wouldn't get any ranking from it. A private match was just like it is in Switch Sports or whatever. You get no ranking from it. So it's not fun to play for an hour with your friend and you're just not gaining anything from the experience. So what you do is you just do, like, let's say you're just doing Turf War. So one of you would go into Turf War. As soon as you got into a room, your friend would click join on you and try to join into your room. And then hopefully you can both get into a match together.
That's so stupid.
Mostly what would happen is the first person who joined in would play a match and their friend would have to sit there and wait for like 3 to 4 minutes to join in the next match with them and maybe or maybe not get in. It looks like now they have this, I won't describe it, but it looks like it was like ghosts in a room and you can see your friends and you can join up with them. And I think it's going to be a lot more coordinated so you can play with your friends and not have to do that madness. So very excited about that.
Imagine if we wanted to play Turf Wars, if we had 4 people, we couldn't just go play.
Yeah, it would be hard to do. Yeah. Yeah. So if you and I wanted to play, hopefully we can go and play together and it's easy to do that.
Yeah.
There's ranked matches too, and there was things you can set up a ranked match, but I'm just talking about just the general play, leveling up, that sort of thing. There's lockers, there's battle replays, lots of new little things in this game.
Little things, and I get it, but like, did I miss something with the lockers? Like, what was the actual point of the locker?
I think with the lockers is you have your own kind of locker, and then you show off your locker maybe when you're playing a team match or a ranked mode or something like that. I wasn't sure exactly when you see the lockers. Maybe your friends, you can see your lockers together. I'm not sure. But it's basically like an ID tag or something like that. I think it's cool. It's not going to sell me the game, but I think it's cool. I'll set up my locker.
I don't know.
And then there was the card game, which I have historically not liked these card games in games. The Witcher has a card game.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla had a card game. Red Dead Redemption has a card game. Like they just everybody has to have a board game within their game. This one looked cool because you're going to try to collect the cards and stuff, just like all these other games. But it's Splatoon and it's colorful. It looked kind of neat. It's a card game, not a board game.
It's like Tetris.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
It's like Battle Tetris on the same board.
I can see hating this and then just ignoring it the whole time, but I can see liking it and playing it too. So I'm not sure. The big difference is going to be that the Splatfests are going to introduce a 3-team mode. Where you can just sort of like finger cuff a winning team with a 2-on-2 battle and have 3 colors going on in Turf War at the same time, which I think is pretty cool.
No, it's not. This is Nintendo being Nintendo, right? I mean, you know me, I've said this before that there'd be more than 2 teams in a battle. That was my original thing. I said there'll 100% be more than 2 in a battle. That might have been a prediction, John, in our prediction year episode.
Seems obvious.
But I just don't understand why they have to you play half a battle, right? And then the winning team stays with their 4 in the middle, and then the other team splits up and they go, why? Just put them in like a freaking triangle shaped map. Put each team in a corner of the triangle, the point, and just go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why they're going to complicate it. There's no way 12 people is going to overkill. If it is, make it 3v3v3. Figure it out, Nintendo. This bothered me. Like,
do you think they play tested it? Because the way you describe it, like, I totally want it now. Just 3 teams. 2 teams can team up. I mean, there's so much that could happen. But do you think they might have tried it and said, this just isn't working?
Maybe, but now what happens, right? If you're a team of 2 and the other guy leaves, it's disconnected. You're screwed.
I don't know.
I just don't understand the team of 2 thing. And you can't really just team up with the other 2. They're on the other side of the map.
You can't really voice chat.
No. I don't know. I think this is a miss. I don't know.
I have been around games and movies long enough to see a decision and say this is a dumb choice and then be proven wrong. I am not going to say anything about this. I'm really interested to see what it is. Give it a chance. I mean, like, this could be great. It's so hard to predict. It's hard to predict. Give it a chance.
At the end of the day, I don't want to be negative Nancy. I'm getting this game. I'm going to play it, but it's not, and I was so pumped for this. I just don't see anything. And there's a reason why I didn't get Splatoon 2, right? It was probably another
Is
game I was
there?
playing. Yeah, I've loved Splatoon 1.
I still don't know why you didn't play Splatoon.
Like 200 hours into Splatoon 1. But 2, I think there was another game out, and there was nothing that just like put me over the top. And there was regrets. I saw a lot of people playing, and then I couldn't play it. But this is like the same thing. It's just, I don't know. I don't give a shit about a locker. I don't give a shit about battle replays or like the collectible seasonal catalog that you're gonna get, John, because it's just like now Switch Sports all over again. You gotta fill up your card before the end of the 3 months.
It's not for you. It's not for you. The battle replays are great for sharing big moments on social media. Yeah.
I've been talking about a lot of cool features that they thought of. Even the idea of being able to go into like a turf war map and just explore it by yourself. So you can kind of study the map and understand it. Like, I get it. That is awesome for competitive players. Love it. It's just, I mean, I'll never do that. Like, I'll never have an incentive to go spend 20 minutes exploring a map by myself.
Right.
They barely touched on the story mode. It was like an afterthought, which I get. Splatoon 2 is not about this huge story mode, even though they have them. It's fine. It's Splatoon 2. It really is. And again, I don't know. Battle Royale, sure, I've been saying I wanted that. It wasn't going to make the game that much better or anything. But it is odd that it came out so soon. There's not a ton of differences. This just looks like it's a lot of,
new weapons, new maps, improve the modes.
It's a lot of,
and
it's a lot of like life
wrinkle.
improvements.
The one thing I really like about the Splatfest, the 3-team thing, is that I got kind of bored of the Splatfest on Splatoon 2 because it was just playing turf war. And I understand you can like win a shirt or something like that, but in the end, it was really just turf war. So I wasn't like, I have to go in there and I have to like answer the question and I got to play for my team. And I still don't know if I really care if my team wins. But if that's the only time you can play this 3-team turf war, I'm going to be playing a lot during a Splatfest just to play that mode.
But we just got Strikers, right? 2 months ago, 3 months, whatever it is. How do we not have some type of guild or club or something? How does this game not have some type of online group? It blows. It's the perfect game for that. Even if you just play by yourself on random teams and you get points added to your club, just like Strikers.
Yeah.
How do you not have something like that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think that type of stuff incentivizes people and it keeps them coming. It's a motivation to log on to a game every week or every weekend and try to compete.
I'll be honest. I don't know if I would do a club because I feel like with Strikers, there was this idea of being in a club and let's all work together and play. But I think that works better with a serious RPG, something that you're going to stick with for a long time. Whereas like I feel like a sports game or, whatever you would consider Splatoon, I guess a shooter, that people will like play it for a while, then drop off. And then what does your club mean? It doesn't have that same guild feeling as, if you had a guild in World of Warcraft. So I think I want to go on Splatoon and I just want to play and have fun and not feel like if I don't play, my guild will be mad at me. So, and I'm not someone who's ever been in a guild, but I would be like, okay with it. I'm fine.
But these are the types of games, right? This is a game you're forced to play with other people. You have to. There's no other option. If you're playing online, you have to play with random people. So this is actually a better game than Strikers to have a some type of club, right? Because Strikers, you're playing solo, right? You don't need to play with other people.
Mm-hmm.
It just made sense. Like you could, I don't know. It seems to me stuff's missing, and maybe that's the plan in the future to release things. But listen, I don't want to be the native Nancy. I'm still getting it. I'm still excited, but like I don't see this game now playing it for months. I'm nervous I could pick it up, play it for like 25, 30 hours and be done. I don't know. I could be wrong. I might love it. I don't know, but
we'll see.
We will.
And I think that the DLC that they teased they didn't really give any hints to it, but Splatoon 2's DLC was the Octo expansion, which like the story mode in Splatoon is really sort of a giant tutorial. Like they want to make sure you use every weapon and do everything. The Octo expansion was some of the most fun stuff I've ever played in my life. It was so much fun.
Yeah. Now,
and I'm wondering if they're going to do the same thing. It's going to be another campaign, but I'm hoping not. I'm hoping maybe that'll be our battle royale or some new modes or something like that.
did they release like the pricing of, let me see, of the DLC and stuff like that? Can you buy?
I
all
don't
of
think
it?
they said the price. No. The game will obviously be $60.
Yeah.
If you pre-order it now on eShop, you'll get double your gold coins.
Yeah, but
So
are you
if
buying this digital?
I was gonna buy a digital because I'm gonna play a lot, and like I've been trying to do that lately and get those games digitally. But I've pre-ordered physical because I want to get the keychain, and I know we'll need multiple copies. And I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep that cartridge. I don't know if Michelle's gonna play. I don't know if Sebastian's gonna play. Cedric's gonna go digital. So what I'll probably do is just wait and assume the physical's mine. But yeah, if you do it early, you can get double the gold coins. I mean, it's not going to save you a gazillion dollars, but it's nice.
Well, the only good thing about digital, I guess, now that I'm thinking about it, is you're going to be playing a lot of this game online. So it's like you need to, you can't really put it in airplane mode and play in the cart unless you're playing story mode.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those games like Strikers and all of that where, I mean, Xenoblade's a perfect one to have a cart because if I want to go on airplane mode or whatever, it has zero effect on the game.
Right. Yeah.
You can't really do that with this game.
Yeah.
So something to think about.
Yeah. All right. Cool. That's Splatoon. We were eating well, and then literally the next day, Kirby's Dream Buffet information drops. This game had been set. When did we learn? We learned about it like I think in late
not
June
too long
or
ago.
Right?
Yeah, it wasn't. Nah,
they said it was coming in the summer of 2022, and we don't have much time left in summer, right? When is it? Summer, June, July, August, September 21st. So we got about a month left of summer, and sure enough, we got more information on Kirby's Dream Buffet. I really liked this one because we had so many questions about what Kirby's Dream Buffet. It went from this is going to be Nintendo's Fortnite to this is not Fortnite to what is the game? It seems to be different modes. And we got a lot of information. So we'll summarize it here. There's basically going to be 3 game modes. Race, which is kind of what we saw most of. Minigame and Battle Royale. Race is just racing top to bottom. You have to get the most strawberries. Strawberries are essentially your points. Makes you bigger, fatter Kirby. Minigame is, there's a whole bunch of minigames. They all look really cool. You're trying to find strawberries. They can be hidden. They can be anywhere. So that's what minigame essentially is. And then Battle Royale is when you can actually knock the opposing Kirbys out of an arena, get their strawberries, that sort of thing. So maybe a race to get to a certain number of strawberries might be what Battle Royale is. But the main theme of the game is collecting strawberries. That's what it is. There are going to be copy abilities. These are all food abilities. So some of the examples they gave were you can turn into a tornado, which I think was the whipped cream, and suck in strawberries that are nearby you, and then jelly to get through walls easily. This looks like a crap load of fun. Oh, and then before, Drew, there is a 2-player local co-op, so single screen co-op. There's a 4-player wireless, where if you have 4 copies of the game. I'm not sure if there's like a download ability, or everyone needs a copy. Probably a copy because it's $15. And then there's online play, which is really cool because we did not know we were going to get that. So we can play that online. I can't wait to play this with you. With you? You're getting this, right?
So, John, I got to be honest.
Fuck.
This game looks terrible. Like,
He's not going to play it.
I'm not buying this game.
How are you not buying this?
Yeah, this game looks awful. Like, there's not one feature of this game that's entertaining to me. I showed my kids Bright Kirby. We just played Forgotten Land. They're all in. And they're like, this game doesn't look fun.
Jesus shit. What?
It doesn't.
How do you look at Kirby's stuffing their face with strawberries and cream, getting all fat and winning? This is the Chubbies bracket come to life. in reverse.
Yeah, in reverse. I don't know.
Wow.
There's just not much about this game that sucks me in.
Yeah, it sucks you in. Did you say sucks you in?
You get it? Yeah, I'm not.
Kirby's not sucking you in.
I'm not buying this game.
I'm in shock. Here's my prediction. I'm gonna predict this right now. We're gonna have so much fucking fun in the Discord playing this game. You're gonna buy it. You're gonna feel so bad. We are all having so much freaking fun. You're gonna buy it. I'm predicting that right now.
The problem also is the 17th is not a good day for me to buy any games because I'm buying 2 games this week. I'm not buying this game.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, it comes out this Tuesday. My God, that's coming. That's Tuesday. Wait, no, that's not Tuesday. That's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
That's Wednesday.
Soon.
Yeah, Wednesday. And I didn't mean it.
Yeah, Wednesday. Same day as Blossom Tales, and then Curse the Golf is the next day, Thursday.
Yeah, but this game looks awesome. I love the online play.
Yeah.
I just want to collect all the shit. I want every outfit. I want everything. I thought I was going to do that. What was the Big Brain Academy?
I liked that game.
I still want to get back to that game.
My daughter likes playing it. She still plays it a little bit.
Yeah, you just want to collect all the outfits.
It's fun.
I really need to get back to that. But this reminds me of that. I just want to collect all the things. And if this were not online, I'm sure my family and we would have some fun initially, and then it would be over after a day or two.
Yeah,
I just know
I
it.
agree.
Online means when I want to play this game, there's going to be someone there to play with me.
Can you guarantee that you could play with friends?
I don't know. I don't know the details, but I'm sure you can play with friends.
Do you know what the best part of all this sounds like? It sounds like Switch Sports is coming to a slow end for you.
Things that sound like something may not be something true.
You know, it's funny when you think about it from Nintendo point of view. In a way, they kind of fucked themselves, right? Because, or in a way, they're giving a lot of options, right? Think about the last few months, right? They've come out with all these online specific games, right? Between Strikers, Switch Sports, now they have Kirby's Dream Buffet, and then next month they have a Splatoon 3. That's a lot of games for like, you can't play all of them. It's just too much. You know what I mean?
Nobody plays all of them, though.
No, but people are going to start falling off Switch Sports.
Okay, but answer this question. Why does Nintendo care if you paid for Switch Sports and then stopped playing it? They don't care.
They don't care at all.
That's ideal. They want you to buy another game. And it's probably why they don't want to be like a Fortnite, or they don't want to be like Animal Crossing lasting 6 years. They want you to move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
That's just their strategy. Now, you can say DLC still brings in the money, so what's the difference? And I agree with you. True. I think they should be Fortnite, or they should be 5 years of DLC for Animal Crossing, but they want you to play the next thing. So they don't care if you stop playing Switch Sports. All right, the announcements did not... This game looks fucking amazing. I'm buying it. It's $15. Hells yes. I thought it might be free to play. It's not, but I'm fine with it. $15, and there's all these modes, and there's a ton of mini games. I'm fine with it.
This seems like a perfect game to put on NSO for free.
Could be. Maybe one day.
Hats.
Yeah, maybe. Next big announcement: Fall Guys has content.
Fall Guys, the game that I fucking hate, but I fucking play it a lot. So little did I know. So they came up with the big announcement of Sonic. What a fun little trailer, right? This is only for the weekend, August 11th to August 15th. That's it. Which was a little shocking. John, you know what I did today? I spent more money on Fall Guys than it cost to buy Kirby Dream Land Buffet.
Oh my God. What did you buy?
Kids made me buy the 4 characters. Cost me $20. I had to buy Sonic.
Oh, you have to buy them?
You physically cannot unlock them.
Wow.
There's no way to unlock them. Well, you know, they have like the little rainbow stars. But yeah, that's the only way to get them. You can't just like get them in their battle pass system or anything like that.
So you have to spend money. I don't know what rainbow stars are, but you have to spend money to get them.
You can get them through the battle pass, but
you said you can't do it through the battle pass.
Since I've been playing this game, I think I've collected 350 over and I'm level 30.
I see.
And I think it's 800 to get one guy.
Okay. So you're saying it's possible.
It might be. I don't know if it's possible to get all of them.
All right.
And I guess me if you've been saving it up.
So
I bought them all.
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite?
I mean, Eggman is fantastic. I mean, they have
funny.
There's no impact to the style. It's just all cosmetic. But the game itself, right? What do they call it? Bean Hill Zone or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a fun map, and I like it. It's you're not racing or anything. The whole point of it is to collect rings, and it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I played the shit out of it today. My kids played it, and I probably won't play it again for a while until Mario. Now this gives us hope. Will we see Nintendo characters come to Fall Guys?
It's possible.
It's possible if they're playing. Why wouldn't Nintendo want that?
I don't know why they wouldn't want that, especially if they get in on the cash to buy them all. I thought it was cool. I had a little pang of regret that I don't play Fall Guys. It lasted like 30 seconds, and I was like, okay, I'm good. I really did enjoy Fall Guys, and I've played it fairly recently, on PlayStation, but it's not a game that like keeps me in, whatever. I'll just go through phases. Honest,
my kids love it. They love watching me play. They love playing it. So it's like,
yeah, it's a fun game.
My son is obsessed with Sonic. So I was like, fuck it. I'll buy these. He'll use them.
Pretty good.
That's it.
Awesome. Now with the announcements of game content, I mean, we're swimming in games right now.
Swimming.
We got news. This is just crazy.
This is a crazy one.
How many years later, 30 years later, we got a code in Super Punch-Out for the Super Nintendo on how to do multiplayer.
So this was like data mined, is what you're saying?
I don't know if the people data mined it or not. It came from
buttons until it worked.
It came from a group that specializes in giving out codes, so they might have looked through, or they might. I'm not even sure. I know they tweeted about it, but yeah, this was discovered. And there's two things you can do here. There is a secret menu that you can access in the game that nobody's done before. And the way you do, I did this this evening, but I'll talk about it now.
On the NSO, right? It works on the NSO.
You can run the NSO version of this game and it will work. Hook up two controllers, however you want. On the second controller, so you go to the title screen. On the second controller, hold down Y and R. And while that person's holding that down, on the first controller, hit start. That will take you to a menu where you can pick any of the fighters in the game. You don't have to unlock them or anything. You can fight anybody you want in the game, which is great if you want to practice against a particular fighter, or you just want to see the fighters and maybe you don't want to play through the whole game, but you just want to see everybody. Now, the second little special trick is while you're on this screen, you go and you pick a fighter. Okay, so just pick anybody. And then you're going to get a character detail screen showing that fighter and information about them. Grab the second controller, hold down B and Y, and then on the first controller, hit start. And what this does is we want to say it's a multiplayer mode, but it's really like a debug mode. Let's be honest. This was probably debug code that was left in the game either by accident or on purpose. But you can use the second controller to control the fighter who's fighting Little Mac in the game.
Mind blown.
It's nuts.
Mind blown.
So you can be Bald Bull, and if you press a certain button, you can do the Bull Rush. I did this earlier today because I hadn't done it yet, and I really wanted to. I was able to do it today, and I will say it's fun. If I was a kid, I think me and my friend, we would have had a blast playing this. But in reality, there's no real controls to control, the big fighter, whatever you want to call them, the big fighter. You kind of like play around with it. So if you go left and right, you'll actually see the boxer dash left and right. So it's like, that's cool. And then you just have to experiment with every fighter. What happens when I press A? What happens when I press B? And you make them do their special moves. And a lot of times when you fight those boxers in Punch-Out, they'll do them like at a certain time during the round. They'll do them like predictably. but it's kind of fun that you can just do the same big move. Or you can do the bull rush over and over again with bald bull if you want to. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's not something I'm going to be like doing whatever.
Yeah, no,
but
it's just
how is a
it's
secret
awesome.
like this? How does nobody discover this? Granted, it's a weird one because you have to use a second controller. But
True.
man, how does something like this get discovered? And what games have second controller debug modes in them from Super Nintendo?
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
We should play this. We should try to find some time.
You think it works online?
Yeah, it works online.
Oh.
I mean, the game works online automatically. So yeah, we can do you can be Bald Bull. I'll be Little Mac. Let's rumble, baby.
Oh, that should be a bounty. Beat the block.
Ah, that would be fun. Last bit of news, not surprising. I think we talked pre-show that I might have predicted this.
I think you mentioned it last week for some weird reason.
Yeah. Hogwarts Legacy is delayed to 2023. I'm shocked. These companies put so much PR and directs and everything to talk about their game. And then it always feels like a few months later it gets delayed.
This is honestly like a perfect holiday game too. Like that Black Friday, have that game on the shelf. Let people play it over Christmas break. Family comes over. Everyone knows Harry Potter. Look at this cool game I got for Christmas. Like, this is like a perfect game for that. That's a shame. That sucks. That's going to hurt their sales big time.
Huge. And when I think of Harry Potter, I think of Christmas.
Me too.
Because in all of the first, 3, maybe 4 books, they always talk about Christmas break.
Yeah.
And we scenes of, the Weasley sweater and all that. I think of Christmas, and this is really disappointing. It's not that it's just delayed. I don't think we had a date, but it was basically going to be holiday of this year. Yep. And in reality, it's delayed to February. So it's only delayed like 2 or 3 months, but it's not there when you have Christmas break. What a game to play over Christmas break.
What a game to play.
Super disappointing. So you pick it up in February, and that's exactly when there are just no holidays for a while, right?
Agreed.
So disappointing.
Yep.
Every game is delayed.
Agreed.
What we've been playing.
So what have we been playing? I've been playing a little bit of everything the last couple of weeks, John. So I mentioned Fall Guys. My kids have been super into Mario Party. We played both. So we played Superstars the other day. And Superstars is the fun one, right? That has a lot of the throwback ones. We did we always give the kids the handicap, but they start with 2 stars and then it's hard to jump back. We talked about that a little bit last week. Tonight we played the Super Mario Party. That game, man, that's the one with you have to use the Joy-Cons. Why does Nintendo do this again? Like awesome. You have like 20 characters to choose from. There's a lot of cool things. That was the game where the characters have like their own unique dice plots. And then they just have so many like other poor decisions they made in the game. And I get it. They try to change it up. But I did not hold back on this one. And I did take victory.
Yes. Destroy the kids.
Destroyed. The last thing I want to talk about before we talk about what we've both been playing is Mario Strikers. I'm still playing my 5 to 10 hours a week, doing my matches in the lead. But John, there's problems in the Strikers community. And let me explain to you a little bit what's going on. So I don't even know where to begin because I love this game, as we all know. I have over 100 hours into this game. But there's it's getting, I don't want to say it's getting stale because that isn't necessarily the problem, but the seasons themselves are stale, right? We had that one season where it was like bombs only. That was really cool, unique. This might be season 6, 7, around that range. We've only had one season that had unique rules. That was it, right?
I don't get it.
I don't get that either. They obviously designed it. I don't care if you do bananas only. Like it's something. It's different. It's fun. Dude, no hyper strikes. Do something, right? The other problem I'm having is, first of all, it's hard to find a match on the off seasons. It's getting to that point already. The other problem is since we've won every season, first or second place, we've moved up. We're on the highest division possible in the game, right? Because we've progressed up every season, just like everyone else is with the top clubs. So we're playing the top clubs. A lot of players dropped off this game. A lot of clubs dropped off this game, unfortunately. So when you play, you're really playing against the best of the best, right? I think we had a total of like 50 games last time I looked this season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing against people that have like 600 games played in 2 days, 1,000 games played in 2 days.
Could have been
like,
you.
Like, I know we're in a club that you're not playing in. So it we're playing the best of the best is the first problem. The second problem is all these people who played so many games, they figured out ways to manipulate the game, right? They figured out ways to store every time. They do the bounce pass off of the walls that tricks
Mhm.
Boom Boom. They found all these little glitches on how to do it. The other problem, you're playing against people that have 2 players. It's really an unfair advantage if you're playing by yourself against 2 people.
Mhm.
One hyper shot is impossible to block them because they have somebody blocking them. They can just hit you nonstop. It's getting to the point. It's not fun. Like I'm losing, and I don't consider myself a shitty player, but I'm losing almost every game, and I'm not getting blown out, but I'm losing, and I don't want to win every game by 10 goals either. That's not fun. But it's like. I don't know, John. I'm done. I rage quit this game today playing it.
Oh man.
It was like, man, I fucking am so aggravated. And I think I'm more aggravated because I love the game.
Right.
But it's not fun playing against these people that have probably 1,000 hours into it and don't play the way the game was designed to be played. And
right. You figure out the tricks, you go online, you see what they are, or you invent them yourself. Sorry, a baseball game just came on in my head.
Ooh.
And then you're just like playing to that instead of just having fun and being a little more stupid about it, a little more ignorant. Just you're not enjoying it. You're just trying to like min-max it. Yeah, I did notice that a bit too. The strategy has changed over time. I was a pretty decent player. I wouldn't say I was probably more average. But I was, I could get wins. Yeah. And then I started to just get not only lose, but like get blown out because I wasn't keeping up with, who got buffed, who got nerfed, what are the new strategies, what are the new cheats, that sort of thing. And yeah, I think that the team makeup went from maybe early on bigger characters that could just be more brutal and aggressive to better passing technique characters that just bounce it back and forth until Boom Boom comes out of the goal and then maybe like do a little lob shot or something. Yep. Just those kind of strategies. And I've kind of dropped off this too. I was trying to force myself in the last couple seasons, get some games in so Drew's not mad at me. But I've just like, I can't even force myself. I'm just like so caught up in Monster Hunter and Xenoblade and Switch Sports and like so many games that I really want to play. It's hard to really force out an hour of Strikers.
It's frustrating. Like I said, I want to play this game. I want to play. I don't want to play Fall Guys. I want to play Strikers.
Right.
But I'm sorry, Kurt. Epsilon Ets. If you're, I might be done. I might be done with this game, and I'm not happy that I'm done with this game. But I'm not having fun. I'm legit getting frustrated.
And you are an above average player.
Yeah, I mean, I think like my record for this season is like I'm probably like 10-10, like I'm 500. It's not like I'm losing every game, but it's even the ones I'm winning. It's like
you're like Tom Brady if he loses the first game of the playoffs. For a lot of people, that's like, well, you got to the playoffs, but for Tom Brady, that is not good.
It's not. No,
10-10 is not going to cut it.
It doesn't help either when we're playing. An entire club is only getting 50 or so games a season. It's hard to compete. And I get it, guys. I get it. If I'm frustrated, I get why other people dropped off. And there's a lot of games right now to play. So I'm not mad at the community for not wanting to play games. That's not the problem.
Yeah. There's no way we were going to get 20 people very actively playing at all. And we had situations where people said like, oh, sorry, I'm not going to get my games today. But like nobody ever took up a spot that somebody else wanted to get in and then didn't play. We always had room for everybody. So don't worry if you didn't play or whatever. Yeah. It's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
But, we still have 2 updates, right? I'm assuming it'll just be four new characters and two
Mhm.
new fields.
Stages,
But
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I still want to upgrade ours to stage 4 to see what happens.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But I don't know.
I find I'm a little perplexed by how because when they describe the whole club thing and like, wow, this is gonna be really cool. The gear wasn't ever interesting enough.
The gear's a
the
problem.
lack of special game modes, and I understand you were like saying maybe hyper strikes. I think that would be a cool season to have no hyper strikes, and it's all about gameplay. But the hyper strikes are sort of like the hallmark of the game too. Maybe you say you only use male characters or female characters or certain Mario characters, something like that. Good guys, bad guys, whatever. But then you're taking maybe they've built up that character and now you're going to make them mad. So I don't know what wiggle room they had. They clearly did it once and that was it. I just found that really weird. That was a big part of the game I thought was going to be fun.
I mean, it's just do something. I mean, make them. The rules are nothing.
Less gravity.
2-minute games. I don't know. Like it's there's things that are so easy to change. Yep. We're not asking for a lot.
Yep. I don't get it. So, I don't know why they went in that direction.
I'm not sure either.
It's a really fun game. We never were able to do. I never really played online. I played online with you once. Yep. You and Amy. I don't think I played with anybody else. I know there was a bunch of us that wanted to play with each other, but I was like, I just wasn't, I was only going to play for a little while. It just never happened. It's a fun game and playing 4-player local would be fun too.
Yeah.
But overall, you're really just playing it by yourself most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a reality too. But I would not put it past this game making some kind of comeback, maybe getting some update. That would be fun. Like this is a game that I could definitely come back to. But it needs something. Yeah,
it does need something. Maybe even a story mode or something offline. I don't know. I mean, that probably won't happen. Everything's going to be online, but I agree. We'll see. Hopefully, it's not dead. I mean, I'll definitely jump back in when there's the new DLCs, but TBD on the next season.
Cool. All right. So some updates on some games I've been playing. Still playing Monster Hunter Rise, although I haven't played it in like 3 days, so pretty impressive for me. I finished all the combat. I went through all of those followers. So they have these solo missions you have to do, and I was ignoring them. I was like, I don't want to play solo. I want to play with friends. I want to play with solo. I want to play with my friend Arthur. I want to play with randos. And they have these follower missions, and oh my gosh, they kept coming and coming and coming. I decided when I got back from Disney that I wanted to work on them. I was at MR 75. I needed to get to MR 100. So I was like, this is going to be painful. But I didn't do any of the follower missions. So like, let me do the follower missions. So I did. And I spent a week and a half playing follower missions. I played with nobody. I was playing on my own for tens of hours, probably about 35, 40 hours total. And I finally finished them all. And then I finished the MR 100 matches. I finished everything. Then they put out the content update, and I did all of those too. But they have these anomaly missions now. Those are just going to go on forever. You can keep playing them, and you can keep upgrading your gear. That's great. I don't play Monster Hunter like an infinite game. I like to do all the quests.
245 hours.
Mm-hmm. I'm really, really deep into Monster Hunter. It's such a relaxing game. You sit down, sit in a chair, pick a mission, either play with randos or I see if somebody's online. I've spent a lot of time. I'll just like throw my headphones on and Solo and I would play and talk to each other, chat. I played with Sam, played with Eric. We just you just play, and it's so much fun. You do get to a point where people are at different levels and like they're doing different missions, and sometimes people can't do certain missions. But for the most part, we've been able to play anytime. It's a lot of fun, and they are now going to weekly missions. So every week there's going to be new event quests. Probably not many. Probably just randomized stuff. But I'll probably dive in every week. Maybe I'll play some missions or whatever. do whatever. But really fun game. But I think Sunbreak is really starting to wind up a bit. I think there's going to be a content update or 2 left, but I literally finished all the content update in 2 hours for August. So there's pretty much not much time left in this one, I don't think. Been playing Grindstone. I haven't played a mobile game in so long, but I've been playing Grindstone whenever I ever have little bits of time. I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It's on Apple Arcade.
Yeah, I played on Apple Arcade.
I'm still in the first worlds. I'm going really slow, but yeah, for the most part, if I bring my kid to Taekwondo or, whatever, I usually bring my Switch, but I might play some Grindstone just whenever. But I've really enjoyed it. Grindstone's a really fun game. Very easy to play, and I'm really enjoying it. And then Switch Sports. I gotta say something, Drew. This is gonna be totally me, I know. The other day, it was Thursday. Thursday was the day the new content comes out. It comes out every Thursday for Switch Sports. They give you 12 new items you can unlock. You have to earn 100 points. You get a random item, 100 points, random item. When you get all 12 items, they give you the grand prize item, which is, some wardrobe or body type or whatever. So every week I try to go through it, finish it all up, and get the new body type, whatever. And then I'm done until the next update. I don't play. It's like my off season. I don't play unless I am earning points to get those items. That's it. I had a tweet I was ready to push out that said, I think I'm done with Switch Sports. The new item this week was Chambra, like a Chambra body.
Oh, that. Yeah, I saw it. Wasn't that cool?
I don't have interest in it. It didn't look good. Whatever. I was like, I think I'm done. Soccer's been getting frustrating lately. I had the tweet written. I was done. And I sat there looking at it. And I was like, no way, man.
Oh, John.
And I closed the window and literally got up and played an hour and a half of Switch Sports.
Oh my God. You have 70 hours in that game.
Am I at 70? Sweet. Yeah, I mean they put out a new
How do you have more
list.
hours in that game than Mario Kart?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've played more than Mario Kart, but I've gone through so many Switches and sometimes it messes up your hours.
I agree with that.
I love it. It's I will admit the soccer's been getting frustrating. You play people that are not what their level is advertised to be. I ran into another griefer who basically was just scoring on our own team. It just ruins it. Yeah, just someone who goes on and plays online games and just to mess with people. So it's like you get paired up with random people. It's a 4-on-4 game. And if you just decide, I'm going to go score on our goal and piss off my teammates, you know what I mean? Like people, that's how they feel seen or something.
It's Splatoon.
It's not a big problem in Switch Sports, but it's happened a couple times now. I got some weird matchups. We had a 4-on-2. It was just bizarre. And it was a weird thing because it comes up and it's 4-on-2. I don't know why the matchmaking didn't switch somebody over. And the person on the other team was smart enough to realize 4-on-2, we have no chance. I'm not going to waste time. So they scored a goal on themselves. And then they scored another goal on themselves. But the other person on the team, I don't think had any idea why this person was doing it. So then I went to goof around and I was going to go defend their goal to stop their own team from scoring against themselves. I thought that would be funny. Now I'm defending their goal. And while this happened, the other person went up the field and the rest of my team wasn't paying attention and they scored a 2-point goal. So it was 2-2. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. We ended up winning 6-2.
Fucking
and then
sports
bizarrely, drama. I got more points for winning that game. I think because we scored 6. I don't know. It's not
God
perfect.
You,
my rating went down for the week. You just get paired up with bad teammates and whatever. But I'm still in it. So
Don't post the tweet. Did you save it for later?
Nope. It's done. I'm in it.
That way?
We'll see what happens next week. So those are some small updates. We'll talk about the next game together. But the other game I've been playing is I'm finally playing my PS5. It's been several weeks since I played it. And I'm playing Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Very exciting.
Is that new?
No, it came out in 2016. But
there's that many games that old?
My wife and I played Uncharted 1 and Uncharted 2 together on our PS3. I think we played on our PS3.
You watched the movie yet?
We both enjoyed it. I'll get to that in 1 second, though.
Wow.
We both enjoyed Uncharted 1 and 2. And then we didn't play any more games, just lost track of it. But yeah, and so I decided to play Uncharted 4. I didn't want to go back and replay the first two. They're kind of long in the tooth. I didn't want to start with 3 because I don't remember the story anyway. I just did the new one. This game's on PS Plus, so you can play it for free if you have PS Plus. Basically playing it for free. And honestly, I'm more interested in the Lost Legacy, I think it's called. It was like a smaller Uncharted game that does not have Nathan Drake in it. It has these 2 other girls. And I've heard really good things about it. Plus, I mean, I love playing as a girl character. So, but it's sort of like if you play it, it'll ruin the story of this game. So I just decided, let me play Uncharted 4. I like Uncharted. I like Tomb Raider more now, but I like Uncharted. Let's play it. And I'm having a good time. I'm still early. I think I'm a couple hours in. And I have to say, I played what I think is the funniest section of a video game I might have ever played in my life. This game is 2016. It's like 6 years old, and I have not had this spoiled. I had no idea it was coming. If you don't want to be spoiled about this, fast forward a minute in the podcast. I'll warn you now. Just 1 minute. I'm going to be real quick. Okay. In Uncharted 4, you're talking to your wife and something happens where you're going to clean dishes and you say, I'll play you for it. And this whole thing where Nathan Drake challenges his wife to play a video game. His wife plays. And it turns out he's playing this game. He clearly has never played a video game in his life. And he's playing Crash Bandicoot on a PlayStation 1 in the game. So they show the system, the controller, all of that. And then Crash Bandicoot come out. It's not like an emulation of it. It's just kind of like a mock version of it, but it's, and she's teaching you how to play the game and you're playing it and it is hilarious. And he's like, why is this fox running? And she's like, it's a Bandicoot. It is hilarious. If you haven't seen it, go to YouTube, Google Uncharted 4 Crash Bandicoot scene. Good to go. I'll stop talking there because people are coming back. It is one of the funniest scenes. Nobody fast forward, but it's one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in a game. I'll send you a link. It is hilarious. So that was great. I'm having a good time and whatever, enjoying the story, all that jazz. So next episode, hopefully I'll have it finished by then. Other than that, you and I think have put in combined 70 hours into 60 hours maybe of Xenoblade.
I'm like at 31, 32. I saw that you've been playing a lot today.
I played a lot over the last few days.
So what, without going story-wise, I'm about 32 hours, level 45, and I just started chapter 5.
Oh, really? Okay, so I'm getting kind of close.
Where are you at?
I am 24 hours in. And I am in chapter 4. I don't know if I'm very close or not.
Chapter 4 was never ending. I'll say that.
Chapter 3 was never ending.
They all are never ending.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. And we know how many hours total the game is. So yeah, I don't know if I'm close. I don't feel like I'm really close, but
so
yeah, I'm in chapter 4.
Spoilers, tell me which part of the story you're at, and that way I'll know.
How do I say this without any spoilers? But Ethel has been told she has to do something that she doesn't want to.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so what do you think? I mean, like, how do we want to do this?
So let's start off by saying the beginning of this game. Let's talk about some of the positive and stuff because the beginning story I thought was fascinating and very interesting.
Was it amazing though? Was it amazing?
I don't know if I'd say amazing, but I was like really invested in it.
Okay.
Right. I was like, oh, this is cool. Where are we going with this? I think you are in the part where I am. It went stale quick. Would you agree? Would you agree with that? I feel like not much has happened in quite some time.
I am surprised by how many different stories are going on. It seems like every character has a story individual to them and their life. I did not foresee that happening. I kind of thought we would stick with the whole, here's 3 people from Kevis and 3 people from Agnes. and there are these little stories. So overall, I wouldn't say I'm engaged in those little stories. I love the characters more than the story.
Okay.
Not all the characters, but
so here's my follow-up to that part. I feel like the characters don't have a lot of depth. And I know I know that's an opposite of what you just said with the characters have story, but I find the characters a little boring. Especially compared to previous Xenoblade games. Like Rats and stuff, even in Xenoblade 2, like as dumb as he was, it was something about him in the story between Mithra and Pyra and stuff. Like
right.
I don't have the same feeling for any one of these characters. I'm not attached to them.
Exactly.
Like if someone died in the story, I would be like, oh, that's like okay, I'll just play as somebody else. And I think a lot of the problem is now that I'm learning is the classes, right? Because the game is constantly telling you to change classes, which in a way I like because it changes up the gameplay a little bit, right? You have new skills and then stuff, but it makes it also very confusing, right? Because like you said, you have these gemstones and accessories, and I'm like, when I change classes, are they changing too? Or are they changing with the class, but are they changing with the character? It's a little confusing on that part.
The way they explained it is they sort of all have this mental connection that's probably somewhat related to the Ouroboros stuff. Yep. And so they all know how to do each other's skills.
Correct.
It's kind of one of those things where, look, here's the game. Here's what we want to do. We're going to pretend this makes sense. It doesn't really make sense, but let's just pretend that it makes sense.
Exactly.
So you can change the skills around. They know how to use the weapons, but they still need to level up individually, which kind of conflicts with that, right? So whatever, but it's fine. Like it's just it's a game where you can change classes. They came up with some weird storyline. We don't need a storyline. It's fine. I agree with you. I think the story. When they did the direct for this, I was like, wow, what an interesting story. These three warring people have to join together. That's a great story. I mean, it's been done a million times probably, but what an interesting story. I'm interested in this. I think it falls prey to what Fire Emblem, 3 Houses, 3 Hopes.
Okay.
I think it does. There's so many characters. You don't get super invested in one, and they have to spread the stories thin. And that's what really hurt, like, to me, really hurt the Warriors game with Fire Emblem. Because all these characters, they had to like get them all in. And so each of them had very little to say. They just had some dialogue and that was it. You didn't get invested. Whereas in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you've got Rex and the whole Mithra Pyra thing.
Yeah.
And then you have the dragon, the Titan little monster guy. And that was it. And you could focus on that story.
Agreed. For me, that really hurts in this game, right? The last 15 hours, I feel like I just been running around from colony to colony to colony to colony. And I'm going to be honest, the colonies are very uneventful, very
empty.
There's empty. And it like drives me kind of like, why? Like, I just want to get to the next part, and even the world, which I love the Xenoblade world, and this one's fine, but there's something about, like, again, I'm going to go back to 2, like, explore this new area, move on to some big city. When you get to the city, here's some things you want to do. You want to go buy some of this, you want to upgrade some of this, you want to get some new Titans. I don't think I've spent 1 gold in this game. I don't know what to spend gold on. I have 99 ether. I don't know what to spend the ether on. Like, I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm upgrading my gems, but it takes 1 ether. Like, I have all these coins. Like, did you know that you could use your coins to upgrade the ranks for a class instead of leveling them up?
I know you can use the coins for doing that, but I try not to. I'm just trying to get items, and I'll save the coins.
But you also can't have more than 99 coins, so you might as well use them.
I'm not even anywhere close to 99 coins. There's 2 kinds of coins.
99 ether. The gold ones, no. The gold coins are a little bit harder.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about, like, the colony stuff. Like, I want a big city. Like, I want to know when I get to the city. It's like Zelda. Like, you want to upgrade your certain things. You want to go rest. You want to buy your gems. You want to get some accessories, and, like, I don't feel like any of that when I get to a colony. I just
It's-
talk to the people with the star, so I get affinity points and then move on. It's like,
Yeah, they have a little bit to say, and it's giving you that like feel of predictability. It's like, the main quest isn't something interesting. It's like, get to this point, and I'm still making my way towards Sword March, but it's like, get to this point, then you get there. Okay, go a little further, you get there. All right, go a little further, and it's like, okay. Then you get to a colony, and then they're like, help the people, and you're like, okay, and it's all fetch quests.
And even the fetch quests and side quests aren't easy to follow. Like I feel like the system is kind of like the interface of like the menus are kind of weird with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a reason for me to explore the map, right? I love the you don't uncover the map, but we talked about last week, but like there's no reason for me to go that way on the map east when I really need to go west.
You're not going to find something grand or some side quest that's interesting. Right.
The only thing I found was if you see like the little magnifying glass, I have seen those and ran to and you'll find like a hero, and he's just a random hero in the middle of this open world, and then it sends you on this following quest, and then it's like, oh, you've unlocked this hero, and I'm like, wait, so like, I would never would have found him,
right?
It's just
the hero. But that's what I like about it is the blades were sort of randomized. It was like a loot box, and I never got anything. Like I never really explored the blade stuff because like why would I want to use certain blades? But this one is you don't need to find these heroes, but you can, and they're supposed to have some interesting side quests, and then you can have them as the 7th member of your party. And like I use I forget his name. He's like a healer, the healer guy.
But then it unlocks that class as well if you find them.
Correct.
You do the war medic? Is that the one you're thinking of?
No, but there's a healer guy that I use, and like when I have him, he does a really good job of keeping my party healed. Okay, and that's really all I need. I don't need another attacker or another defender. I just need a good healer, so I tend to use him. I agree with you with all of that. The characters are interesting. Some of them are bland. I don't like Tyone. I just don't think games should have kind of emo characters in them. I don't know if emo is the right word, but Tyone is a character who is he's got walls put up, right? He doesn't really want to share much. He's a loner and he's the smart guy and all that, but he's not very social. And I just don't want to hear that for 70 hours. I'm sure he's going to have a great character arc or something, but I just don't want to hear that. And meanwhile, you have Mimi. She's like awesome. And I love seeing Mio and Senna, like their friendship. They're just like the best of friends. And if you go to a camp and just watch, you'll see like Senna's giving Mio a massage and they're playing around.
Yeah.
Mio's got her like negligee on at night. It's like hilarious. I love them.
But that's the personality. I agree. Yeah. The personality is fun.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between having a good personality and just no good backstory or overarching story. And that's what's lacking, right?
Right.
So you don't have any connection except the personality of a person.
Yeah, they try with their stories and they show like flashbacks and whatever. They try, but it doesn't really work because it's too many people. You can't get too deep. So yeah, I agree. Like if you told me to rate the game, I would say, look, the story is not as interesting as I thought it was going to be. The side quests, every Xenoblade game, I say the side quests are boring, and hopefully the next one's better. This one, I was thinking the side quests are going to be even better, and they're really not that much better. It's still
I think they're worse.
Yeah. Go somewhere or find me some items, and that's it. It's really just the same. I do like that the heroes are involved, and it's like that's like a big win. It's like, oh, I get a new 7th character I might use, and all that. But really, overall, the side quests don't feel better at all. One of my biggest complaints is the overworld. When they said that the overworld was so much bigger than the previous games, that was a negative for me. I don't want it to be bigger. I want it to be more interesting.
Open space too. That's right. That's the problem.
I want it to be more interesting. I don't want a big open world. I want a small open world that's more dense and cool and interesting. This has to be the most boring open world I've ever seen in a large scale open world game. It's the most boring thing I've ever seen.
The problem goes back to is like, what's the reward for exploring it? And there is none, right? You find a little canister, you did a couple items.
Yeah.
You find a little dead guy that you play your little flute, right? And he raises up and you get more affinity points.
Right.
So like there's not a huge reward, and it just takes forever to run across these open lands. Now the lands themselves, I'm starting to find some cool, different, unique environments. I love the aspect of as you progress along, you get, the whole Zelda concept of you get an item that helps you along your way, climb in and,
They're like unlock an ability.
Zip line in, stuff like that, right? But still, it's just, God, I love these games, and it's like, I honestly am at the point where I'm playing to finish it. And I hate that. I hate when you do like it's a chore.
Hate playing.
I actually, when I just logged off, started chapter 5, I entered like a new area in the map, which was like, oh, this area looks a little entertaining and fun, but am I going to be bored after 30 minutes of exploring it? Probably.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and you described the open world. It's big and empty. There's little magnifying glasses that are really sometimes just shortcuts. All of that. But then the whole world is just covered with these little enemies. So sometimes if you just want to run across and you don't want to interact with an enemy, I mean, imagine you're on a football field and like every few inches is an enemy. And it's just like you're just wading through it. It's like another attack. And it's like, oh my God. And like you said, you're trying to get items to make gem upgrades. Or you're trying to get items to make food. You're trying to get items for all sorts of different things. But you don't know what you're going to find.
No.
When the items are on the ground, they look like one of like 4 or 5 different things, but you don't know until you pick it up. Yep. If you find a canister or one of those big drops, you don't know what's going to be in there. So I'm trying to find this like one item so I can upgrade my health gem, right?
Yep.
I don't know where it is.
Yeah, I mean, did you Google it? Is it a random?
I could Google it, but I'm at the point of this game where I don't want to Google anything until a certain time period.
No,
I don't know, but I don't know where it is. I want to play the game naturally to know how it really is. I don't know where it is. I run around, I zigzag across the prairie and pick up items.
Yeah,
I'll kill enemies if I feel like it. Most of the enemies don't give a ton of XP. Mostly you get your leveling from like the bosses.
Yep, that's what I look at.
And that's it.
I mean,
that being said,
yep.
Don't love the story. Don't love the overworld. Don't love the side quests. Don't love the length of this game. I am oddly addicted to it.
Yeah.
I like to play the flute. I like to play it when I see a dead body. I'm excited. I'm like, I'm going to play this flute.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love the little bar. It's like the little speedometer stand a little bit. Oh, what's going to happen? It's a 3 stars.
Yep.
It's such it. I agree. I don't want to be all negative. There are a lot of good things. They did so many like life improvements with this game, such as like being able to change your characters. What was some of the other big ones? With the classes.
The chain attacks. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. It's just it's not as I kind of compared the class system to Bravely Default, but Bravely Default is just so much better. I don't know why. It's just so much better. Like I don't know. But it's still strangely addictive.
It is.
I still keep wanting to press on and see the next part of the story. The main quests, even though like it's like go a little further, but it's like there's never much to do before you get to the next part of the main quest. And then you'll get like a little cutscene or something like that, or maybe you'll get a camp where you can save and whatever. And at some point you're like, ooh, what are these side quests I can do? And they're going to be boring and whatever. I don't like the way the map system works, but it's just like, I'm just doing it. I just keep moving forward.
Side quests are weird. The first 10 hours of the game, I didn't even know how the side quest existed. You have to go to a camp and then hit like discuss, and it like shows you quests.
There are these yellow chat bubbles that if you listen to the people, you press ZR,
Correct.
Then you discuss them at a camp and then they become quests. It's a weird whatever.
It's weird though.
Yeah, it is. It's mostly like there's 3 of them here. Go find them. Okay.
But then even if you go to the menu and you go to the quest function, it's like, which ones are active? Which ones did I complete? Which like it's
it
just
shows a check
confusing
mark for the
still.
done ones. Yeah, they're kind of colored the same, but there's a check mark for the done ones. There's yellow ones, there's blue ones. The yellow ones are like side quests that you have to do to advance the
Yes.
main quest. And then there's blue ones. My biggest frustration was I had a couple of blue ones and I was trying to like warp back to where they were to do them, and it wouldn't let me warp there because it didn't
Certain
make sense in the
ones.
story. It was getting so frustrating. And then something changed in the story, and then I could finally go back and do the stupid thing. I did it, and now it says I have to go back to Lenny. And they won't tell me where Lenny is. I have no idea where Lenny is. And I'm just like, I feel like stuck with it. Like, it's not telling me where to find Lenny, and I don't remember. So it is weird.
That's one of the advantages of also killing like the open world bosses, because they create the gravestone, then you can then travel to the gravestones.
And well, that's cool. And I do like when I see them,
yeah.
I'm like, ooh, I want to beat them, because you get EXP bonuses and stuff like that too. And you get a good amount of XP. Because like I said, when you fight the regular enemies, you really don't get much XP at all.
No.
My question for you is, why, Drew? Why do games like this continue to get such good review scores? And granted, neither of us are done with this game.
Yep.
But I think we're far enough in where, if you play all 90 hours, it really has a good ending or something like that. But, I'm 24 hours of my life into this game. And while I do find it oddly satisfying to play, it's just everything about this game is just done wrong. It's got a Metacritic score of 89 out of 100. That is way too high for a game like this.
And it hurts me to say it. This is like one of my top 10 franchises of all time, from games I love. But yeah, I honestly think it's like a 75. There's too many issues with the game. There's some good things, don't get me wrong, but there's too many issues. I agree with you. I think did it fall into one of the trap to, people hear Xenoblade, the previous 2 games. Well, we don't really talk about that, but they were fantastic games, and especially for a Nintendo console, I think it does a lot. I think it runs fantastic.
It does.
If you think about, there's much smaller games that run a lot shittier, right? So it runs fantastic, but I don't know, John. I don't have an answer for that one. I mean,
listen to this review. I will say, like, the reason why Metacritic reviews and reviews in general get perverted is because, reviewers want to keep getting free game codes. Reviewers want to show up high up. If you go to Metacritic, they will show you the scores from the highest down. So if you give it a perfect score, your website is basically getting a free ad at the top of a list. But here's a review. This is from Attack of the Fanboy. Don't ask me. It says Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is the strongest JRPG in the modern Nintendo catalog and is among the greatest games on the Nintendo Switch, and could potentially stand the test of time when considered among other platforms and generations as well. It's a complex emotional journey where you and the characters will confront challenging themes and philosophical ideas and see them through to their respective cathartic conclusions. Drew, that is the biggest horseshit I have ever seen in my life. To even begin to insinuate that this is among the greatest games on the Switch and maybe among other consoles too, and to say that this is an emotional journey, this is not an emotional journey at all. There is nothing connecting these characters. I can't imagine any of these characters dying, and I'm sure someone will, as being emotional. But when you play another open world game, take for example The Witcher, like you were saying, you see the map, you see all this unexplored land, you go explore to the left, man, you will come across a hut, you will come across a character, they'll have some really interesting side quests to you with you, the full story, and you can play like 10 hours of content, and that was just we went to a hut to the left. Then you go up this way and you'll come across. Like, there's so much interesting stuff. And I'm not going to compare The Witcher. The Witcher is one of the great games of all time. And
it
it's
really
unfair
is.
to compare. But if you compare it to what's happening right now in Xenoblade 3, this is a joke compared to a game
the only
like
thing
that.
I'll say from a story point of view, the end of chapter 4, something picks up a little bit, but I 100% agree. I don't see this as being. I'd like to see. I'm glad you agree with me on a lot of this stuff. I'd love to see someone like solo something and Frosticles who both beat the game. I'd like to see their final opinion. And those guys are diehard Xenoblade fans more than
They
me and you
finished
are.
Xenoblade?
They both did.
I'm not in the spoilers room because I don't like spoilers.
No, there's
They
no
finished
spoilers, and nobody spoils it. No, there's actually some good stuff in there with some good conversations.
I
about
never go in this. I never go in the chat
There's
rooms.
no,
Never.
no, people
Never,
respect the spoiler tags and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's been any spoiler talk. They both finished it. I won't tell you how many hours. We know how many hours. But
shocking. Yeah. I it's a disappointment from where my hype level was, but at the same time, I have spent the last several days going, I should play Cult of the Lamb. It's shorter. It seems like it's more fun. I want to have cultists and all that jazz. But I'm at a point now where I'm like, I'm just going to keep playing Xenoblade. It's very casual to play.
It's one of those.
Yeah, it's not what this was going to be a possible game of the year contender. Not from like, I dub it. It's like, this could be. It's not. It's
up on the same page. It's one of those that, watching TV with the wife at night. Like, I love being able to just run around and kill monsters and explore and do fetch quests. Perfect for that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
story comes
really
on.
Wanted this game to be good. Story comes on, and like, to be honest, there's a lot of cutscenes that you wanna like almost just hold that X button. Like, it's like nothing's happening here, and it's not entertaining. Like, none of these characters have any comedy. There's no comedy relief in this game at all. It does not exist, and it's
very
just a lot
little.
Not interesting. So it's hard. And they dragged it out. Some of the cutscenes are just dragged out. I mean, I think I just watched the cutscene between two of the chits like eating and talking about, I thought you didn't like fish. No, I like fish. I'm just like, what am I watching? Like, I don't care.
It's an emotional journey, Drew.
It's not.
It is.
Right,
it's a real tearjerker.
Enough. Maybe our tastes will change. I just want to say the game's not bad. It's not a bad game. I'll end with that.
Yep. Feels like a 7.5 or 8.
Yeah.
All right.
And now, one last thing.
Drew, we got some voicemail questions.
We do.
And we had a bounty associated with it. I will say in the end, we got 3 voicemail questions, and we won't give away quite yet who was the first to leave a voicemail and win the $10 eShop card. But let's go through some voicemail questions. What do we want to play first? You got them loaded up?
I do.
Who are we gonna hear from first?
First one, any order?
Any order.
All right, first one we're going to go to is our good old buddy, Bob Cousy.
Bob Cousy here, a.k.a. Kevin L.A., a.k.a. your baby's daddy's daddy. Hey, I was just in a GameStop and I saw a girl with a Linkle phone case. And it made me think, had a question for you guys. Who would you rather spray your man seed on, Linkle or Bowsette? Thanks for taking my call. I'll hang up and listen.
Oh, my goodness.
So, I'm not going to lie. I kind of had to look up Linkle because it's not something that you've seen every day.
Oh, I've spent so much time wishing you could play as Linkle in Breath of the Wild.
So, do you have an answer? Your man seed?
This is the easiest question I might have ever been asked in my entire life. Without
I agree with that.
Any hesitancy, Bowsette. I think one of the best Twitter accounts I follow with our Dads After Dark account is, I got to look up the name of it, but it's a Bowsette account that just posts fan-made pictures of Bowsette all day long. I think Bowsette is an ingenious character. Nintendo will never do anything with it because it would be very difficult to. But man, oh man, Bowsette is every fantasy rolled into one, 100%. It'd be Bowsette. But I have always wanted to play Breath of the Wild. as Linkle, just as like an alternate character. I really wish
yeah.
they did that. That would be great. What about you?
Yeah, Bowsette, hands down. It's not really a contest. I 100% agree with you. It's that fan account. If you don't, we'll get to the name of it because
Yeah, what is the name of
it's
it?
something else. It's something stupid like Bowsette something.
Isn't it? Is it just Bowsette? Oh, somebody's got
might be.
Bowsette. That's crazy. Yeah.
mean,
There's just great pictures, 3D pictures,
some of the
2D.
pictures and fan art. Like, where is this person getting all of this? Are they creating these from?
They source it. So the Twitter account is bot Bowsette. BOTBOWSETTE. It's just got fan art. It's usually sourced to where it came from. It's great. I mean, it's some of it's mature. It's usually not overboard. It's like anime stuff, whatever. It's fantastic.
It's pretty mature. Let's be honest.
It's pretty mature, but there's nothing like pornographic. Maybe like B movie. It's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
All right. Thank you, Coos.
All right.
Who do we got next?
Next voicemail comes from Mostly Martinez.
Well, this is my first time doing this. It's a Friday morning here, so happy Friday. I would just like to say I always love and appreciate hearing everybody's perspectives, viewpoints on life, fathering, and gaming. As a fellow father gamer myself, I'm always having a blast listening to you guys and might steal a couple of your ideas. So thanks again for everything you guys do, and always looking forward to more content.
Look at that. Just a nice, genuine voicemail from a good dude. Not asking anything of us. Not getting dirty. Just a good dude.
It's a nice change of pace.
It is a nice change of pace.
Although he said he was going to steal. He was going to steal from us. So, I mean, was that kind of like a masked threat? What is he? I think he would steal like,
it was a compliment.
one of our games or something. So if you make it big, you owe us. We want to cut. That's what we're saying.
That's right.
We need some money.
We need some
Got to pay for Xenoblade 4.
Okay. The last voicemail. Now, again, this was in no order. The last voicemail here is from our good friend Andy P, otherwise known as the Informant.
What is up, John and Drew? It's me, Andy P, aka the Informant, calling with a couple of questions for you. First off, do you guys do any impressions, and would you be willing to share them on the next show? Also, have you ever used any of the impressions during sex? Like, hey, Scoob, give it to me good. You know what I'm saying. Second question for you. Have you guys ever played a game called Conan Exiles? I was talking with a GameStop manager earlier today, and he was telling me it was one of his favorite games back on the PS4. And I don't recall anybody ever talking about it. He said it was a PS Plus game a couple years ago, so you might even have access to it. Looks like I do. I'm going to try to give it a try. So, yeah, I think that's about it. Well, I hope the bounty's good. Catch you later. Bye.
Oh my goodness.
Always good to hear good old Andy there.
I don't.
I mean,
do you think he's pulled out the Shaggy? I mean, like
That's pretty good. Not gonna lie, it's pretty good.
I gotta know if he has really done that during sex. I have to know. Informant.
No chance.
Did you just make that up on the fly, or has there been some cosplay going on with you and the wife? Is she Scooby?
Is she Scooby?
I don't know.
Unfortunately, I don't have any good impressions. I don't know about you.
I do impressions all the time, but mostly like lines and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm constantly doing voices. I love to do what is the show my kids watch? Oh my god, Phineas and Ferb.
It's a good show.
I don't really watch it. I'm just in the room while they're watching it or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And but then there's like the I forget his name. He's got his Duschenschnazel or whatever the scientist name is.
Professor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I love
whatever.
his voice. I think his voice is actually the person who made the show. And it was one of those things where he was just doing the voice and then they decided to just make him do the voice. Yeah, like I'll do him. I can't do it right now. There's no way I can do it right now. But like, I'll always like say the lines after he says them on the show because he just has this distinctive voice and he's like, Perry the Platypus, and he like, and it's just like, it's like a funny character.
Yeah.
And then, but I've never used a voice during sex. I think that would just ruin it. I don't have a voice I could do.
Are you a talker during sex? I think that's the better question.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But just using my own voice. I should do like a Mickey Mouse or something. I don't know. See, like none of the characters
would that kill
none
the
of the
mood,
voices you would
especially
do.
now.
But
now it would be really awkward.
Right. It's like, hey Michelle, you want to have sex with Mickey Mouse? And be like, no. If I could do like a Ryan Reynolds impression, maybe that would work on Michelle. What voice are you doing? I want to know what voice you're doing.
None. I don't. I quote a lot of stuff, but not really in the voice.
It's hard to quote something without doing the voice.
No, like
right?
Movie quotes and stuff like that.
You don't like, even if you're not doing like an impression, but you're doing the voice.
I don't really have like a go-to that I'm thinking of. No.
Huh. I find it almost impossible to quote a movie and not.
You know what it is?
The
next week, I'm going to keep an eye on myself on this one. We'll come back to it. The second half.
By the way, great voicemail. That was a great voicemail.
Great voicemail.
First time I heard it, I almost cried.
Me too. Conan Exiles.
Oh yeah.
What do you know about this game?
I don't know anything about this game. Yeah, I don't really know. I've heard of it.
It's like Indiana Jones meets the Mummy.
Isn't it Conan, or isn't it based on the Conan? Yeah. I assume this is going to be something where it's like it's based on the Conan comics and not the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
Yeah, it's definitely that.
The game is set in the world of Conan the Barbarian, with the custom playable character being rescued by Conan, beginning their journey.
That's it.
I mean, it looks like one of those. Oh, it came out in 2018. Yeah, it's got got a heavy yellow filter going on.
Looks like they're coming out with a new one.
Yeah, I guess I've definitely heard of this game, so it's not like it's some unknown game. So it's probably
because
decent.
It says PS5 and Xbox One, so there's gotta be.
I wouldn't say I'm interested in looking at it, but I'd be curious to know if an informant has played this game.
Best series ever, this guy said.
Best series ever.
Anyway, John.
I was gonna say, it's not that reviewer from before that said it was like an emotional journey.
Didn't he say it was a GameStop guy?
Oh yeah.
The same guy.
Right. Yeah. I want to know how that comes up. Like, do you just say what's a good game? And they're like Conan Exiles, or maybe they were just playing it in the back room. Like, where did Conan Exiles come up from?
That is a good question.
Yeah.
But John, we had 3 voicemails. The bounty was the first person to leave the voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Martinez, we got the Drews, and we got Andy P. Who's the winner, John?
The winner is that we played those voicemails in reverse order. The winner is Andy P. $10 eShop gift card. The bounty master himself. And we will say we didn't even get it right away. It's not like it was like the next morning. Like,
no, it was like 2 or 3 days after.
It was a couple of 3 days later. So that $10 was available for anybody.
How easy it was.
Yeah, it was so easy. But that was fun. I really like the voicemails. We need to do more voicemails.
More voicemails.
So definitely, if you want to give us a question, we've done them on Twitter, we've done Discord, but send us a voicemail. We want to hear your voice. It'd be pretty good. Awesome.
Well, John, that wraps that up. But John, the famous question that you love so much, what do we have coming up in this few weeks?
Thank you for asking, Drew. I don't have to play Sadie saying it. We have a lot of games coming up these next 2 weeks.
So much. I'm so excited.
First one I know is big with you. Blossom Tales 2, The Minotaur Prince.
Can't
August 16th. That's
already downloaded
Tuesday.
Downloaded on my Switch already.
Pre-ordered. How much was that? 20? 30?
Yeah, 20-ish, but I think it was like 10% off maybe with the pre-order.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if you want to buy this game, get it before Tuesday probably for a discount.
A couple dollars.
Obviously a game you're not excited for, Kirby's Dream Buffet is coming out August 17th. I'm really excited for that one. Now back to another game you're interested in, Cursed to Golf, August 18th.
I've been talking forever. This is
a big one.
I'm hoping that I can wake up before I leave for vacation and download this.
Yep. And you'll be playing it the whole time.
You can't pre-order this one, so I'm upset because, like I said, Blockstar's already on my Switch. Cursed to Golf. Cursed to Golf is on the eShop now, though, John. I was very nervous. I told you it showed up. It's there. You just can't pre-order it.
You can't pre-order it. It's so weird.
It has an 8/18 date.
Nintendo must charge to be able to pre-order a game because you can't pre-order everything. So they must be charging for people to be able to do that. It's got to be part of their service.
Huh.
Same day as Cursed to Golf is My Divorce Story.
Looks funny.
This game looks awesome.
Are you kidding?
Actually, I don't think I've actually seen what this game looks like, but we saw this on the list and we just thought it was absolutely hilarious. Let's take a look at it here. Hold on. My Divorce Story for Nintendo Switch. It says, whoa, that's a really weird. There's a demo. Ooh. You can download a demo to play this game. Looks like it's a $8 game. You can buy it now for 10% off pre-order. Like you can pre-order My Divorce Story.
What do you do?
Enter our ordinary protagonist living an ordinary life. But what's this message? You shouldn't be playing games right now. Your spouse is cheating on you. Who sent this? It can't be true. Collect evidence that your spouse is cheating on you and file for a successful divorce in this unique adventure game. The battle of wits with your spouse begins. Within 6 months of discovering the affair, you must gather enough evidence and bring it before the court. In this nightmare of a life, you must maintain a healthy relationship with your spouse. I mean, this just sounds amazing.
What the fuck is wrong with this world? Watching people shower, playing games about divorce.
Are we going to bounty this one? Is this our bounty?
Oh. Cruz will probably win this one. I feel like this would be a game you'll jump on. I mean, he did Hammer Kid.
In the middle of Xenoblade and Cult of the Lamb, are we going to challenge people to beat My Divorce Story? That's the question.
God. Blossom Tale, Kirby, Cursed to Golf. Nah. Divorce Story.
Mario Kart, Wave 2. So much going. Switch Sports. Everyone's playing Switch Sports right now. It's very popular.
Nobody.
Other games coming out. RPG Time, The Legend of Wright. This was a game that we saw in the last Indie World. Looked very charming and cool. That's coming out August 18th. As I said earlier, the weekly Monster Hunter event quests. They're going to start doing these weekly, and it starts August 18th this week. And then August 26th, Pac-Man World Repack. If this floats your boat, it floats your boat, but it's on the list. It's a remake. So there's a lot of different games to choose from. I think everybody's going to have something here that they're going to get.
Yeah, if not, then I don't know what to tell you, folks.
Yeah, it's either Cursed to Golf or Kirby or Blossom Tales or RPG Time, I would guess.
It's all different types of styles.
I'm telling you, there is like one Xbox published game all year, and it's a story-based game that Xbox players don't want to play, right? People don't buy an Xbox to play story-based games, right?
God, PlayStation, it must suck to be a PlayStation and Microsoft fan.
I mean, well, there's plenty of games to play in the Xbox, but not Xbox games, right? On PlayStation, we've seen so many games delayed. Like Hogwarts Legacy is going to be delayed. What's that game that Solo wants to play? I can't remember. Forlorn. Oh, I can't remember. But that one, all these, there's a lot of games. We've got Stray, we got Horizon Forbidden West, so we've gotten some games, but it hasn't been a ton. You know, and
can't count Stray.
Nintendo Switch, man. Nintendo Switch, you are living life. You are flooded in games. Monster Hunter, Sunbreak, Xenoblade. We've
playing Lego Star Wars,
Mario Kart. I mean, there's so much, and
Splatoon.
It's insane.
Not far away.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
So much good. And My Divorce Story.
Divorce Story. That's it.
My Divorce Story. Switch is the best place to play My Divorce Story because you can play it anywhere. You can play it in your lawyer's office. But that's it. That's all the games we got.
That's it. It's a wrap.
That's fun. Do you think we're going to be talking about rolling credits in Xenoblade by next episode?
Yeah, I'm hoping to roll credits by Wednesday.
By Wednesday?
I don't think
you're not
happen,
fucking finishing by Wednesday. There's no chance.
That's my goal.
Yeah, no chance.
I'm nervous that I'm going to start Curse the Golf, and if I start Curse the Golf before I finish Xenoblade, I'm in trouble.
Because I told you I might stop Xenoblade and play Cult of the Lamb, and you said, "No, you don't, John. No, you don't. You got to finish it."
I got to finish by Wednesday night.
Yeah,
3 days. I need to average 10 hours a day.
I mean,
if I do 5 hours a day, will I finish?
You might not even finish it if you did 10 hours a day. You don't know like where you are, how many side quests and all that jazz.
I do know how many chapters there are.
Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
I'm not going to tell you, but I don't know because the chapters take 10 hours, I feel like.
Right, exactly.
So it's irrelevant how.
It's probably
if
6.
And it would probably would have finished if that was the case.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It's fun. It's bland. It's fun.
I don't want people to think we don't like Xenoblade. It's a good game. It just has a lot of issues compared to the other ones. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
We talked about it enough.
It fixes some things. And game. Yeah. I've said that 2 is my favorite, and I think I'm sticking with that right now. I think 2 is still my favorite. Still my favorite. All right.
Alrighty.
Good night, dads.
Good night.
Good night.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available, including iTunes, Castbox, Spotify, and Stitcher. Also, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Pretty please. Be sure to join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in our Dads After Dark channels for some naughty After Dark talk. Follow us on Twitter at @NDadsAfterDark or email us at dadsafterdarkshow@gmail.com. And a big thank you to Family Jewels for our show's music. You rock. That's all for tonight. Good night, Dads. Sweet dreams.